Hello, I'd like to deposit this to checking.
Fate is a fickle master.
What?
The future is uncertain.
Okay, and what's my account balance?
The horizon is cloudy. I see a long, treacherous voyage filled with great peril.
Look, can I just get a deposit slip or something?
A fortune bank teller. Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I see a yellow-eyed serpent and a low APR.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
I am simply in a different place emotionally than Mike and Stugotz when it comes to football because they have spent the last 10 minutes dissecting a Chiefs-Titans game.
Great game.
That could not be any less interesting to me in terms of what decides who's good at football. Like, the idea that the Titans would advance. The Titans stink, dude. The Titans could lose to the Browns if they played yesterday.
Yes.
The Titans stink. They in the playoffs, though. And so Stugotz is like, see, Dan, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. You get into the playoffs, you got a chance. And I'm like, Stugotz, that team has no chance. None. And he's like, but now they've got a week to think about the ways that they might have a chance.
Yep, and that's awesome. I mean, for a fan base, that is what you're looking for. Your season's been extended another week, and you have 7 days to sit around and think about, hey, how can we get this done in New England against the Patriots?
That team stinks. The Titans up and down stink.
One of the best 8 teams in the NFL.
According to the measurements that we now use.
No idea.
Here's the thing you guys know, and this is how you know the Titans stink. You all know that the Chiefs presented the Patriots more of a problem than this slop now headed into Foxborough.
Yes. The Patriots are happy with the results.
Oh,
yes.
Belichick is like, man, write that story every week about us falling apart and me getting neutered if what I get is Titans instead of Chiefs. If I get Delaney Walker trying to beat me 6 yards at a time instead of the Chiefs doing it 50 yards at a time.
It'd be great on their run to the Super Bowl if they get Titans and Jaguars at home.
Oh, that thing. Listen to this. I would be so frustrated if my team was the Jags because this is our team. Holy bleep, our defense is ravenous. Blake just dropped the ball again and scrambled for 11 yards. They are a high school offense. It's Blake Bortles yesterday won that game with more rushing yards, scared for his life, than anyone not named Ted Ginn. Yep. Ted Ginn leads the sport in rushing yards, scared for your life.
He had more rushing yards than passing yards.
He dropped the ball one time, picked it up, and just ran to the left for 12 yards.
A great play.
I can't believe they went for it on that 4th and goal. From the 1.
And through!
Why would they do that? A field goal wins the game.
Through! A field goal wins the game. Just leaving the ball there and doing nothing else would have won that game. Buffalo would have done something to screw it up.
Just take a knee.
You didn't have to throw the ball. They might. You know what? It would have been as ridiculous from the 1 yard line. I'm not even kidding you that they threw the ball with Blake Bortles, trusting Blake Bortles to some tight end that you never heard of. It would have made as much sense to me if they had punted from there. I'm like, wait, what? You've got Leonard Fournette. Blake Bortles has been doing nothing but dropping the ball and running for his life. You're going to decide, Tom Coughlin, that the play here is Blake Bortles releasing the ball in an accurate fashion to someone else?
So you would have punted.
From the 1 yard line.
First ever punt from the 1.
This is something that's frustrating to me about football. I've been complaining about versions of it all year, Stu guys. I am so tired of the 10-play 1 yard drive. The specific, goal line, 4th and short, flag, 4 more downs, goal line. Oh, flag. And there's the quarter. And we've been playing rugby scrum for an entire quarter. Titans.
Good to have stakes, though.
Yeah, you know what? When stakes are attached, it really doesn't matter.
I was watching that game.
So was I.
Well, that part's true. But that part's true.
That's a regular season game, and I hate it. I was glued to it yesterday.
I can't dispute what you guys are saying. That Buffalo-Jacksonville game was an atrocity. But because there were stakes, they're like, here comes Nathan Peterman, and he's going to do something about it.
That was exciting.
Oh, that scramble for that first
that
down.
scramble.
So good. I thought they had it.
Oh,
Game over.
The scramble.
This is a fairy tale ending for Nathan Peterman.
Unbelievable. The Jags are not. Tom Coughlin is not prepared for whatever it is that Nathan Peterman's about to unleash.
And
they've been preparing for Tyrod Taylor all week,
and it's gone. It's all.
And there it is.
He threw the ball. It's
and look.
And
here's your hope, and it's gone.
And Jalen Ramsey.
No, it's not quite gone. No. That's not how that works. This is the new football, and it's gone. Oh, no, it's not. Let's go to review. Did the ball jostle?
It moved.
Did the ball move? Let's microscopically check the ball. Did it move? It looks like a blade of grass touched it. Mike Pereira, what do you think? Mike Carey, what do you think? ESPN's guys are the worst, by the way. They get everything wrong. They're rules experts.
Really?
Oh.
I didn't know we had one.
We've got a rules expert that we trot out that gets everything wrong. He's the new Mike Carey.
Yes, so your hope, and it's gone. And then it's a replay. Wait, I got a little bit of hope, and it's gone.
Yeah, 15 minutes, and then, yes. But it takes 15 minutes. Is anyone else annoyed by that or no?
I think everyone is, yes. Yeah, I think it is.
That we don't know. We have to check what looks like a touchdown, and the Steelers game was the proof of that, Steelers-Patriots. And we all know it's a touchdown, and now we're studying, did the ball jostle a little bit when he hit the ground?
Yeah, it's annoying.
What I'm most frustrated by is not knowing what the referee is going to say after 15 minutes.
Is everyone annoyed by that? Is that something that is annoying all sports fans, that we've gotten so hyper-technical with this stuff that it doesn't even matter whether you have stakes in the game or not? You realize the stupidity in we are micro-analyzing whether a ball moves at the end of a catch when the guy has slid 10 yards and has hit the back wall of the, end zone area, and we're still looking, did he complete the catch? Did anything jostle the football?
It's so strange because I wanted it for so long. I want, hey, you have the technology. It's 2000. I remember talking about this years ago. Hey, it's 2015. Let's just get it right. And I wanted it. I wanted accuracy. I wanted all the calls to be right. Now I don't want it anymore. I don't. It takes some of the sting out of the game. It takes some of the emotion out of the game. It takes some of those.
Right. That's a good point when he says taking the emotion. You've got guys celebrating on the field who don't know that their celebration isn't valid.
Right. And you have fans celebrating at home and in the stands, and they don't know if their celebration is valid.
I don't see how that is a good evolution. I think that most things technologically in life, that evolution tends to be pretty positive, but this is not an example of that. We have gotten to such a microscopic level of examination on these games that think about what those human beings are doing, and think about how this is the part that's frustrating to me, Stugotz, that we're going to hyper-analyze that one play when we could be doing it on every play.
Correct.
On every single play, we could be doing this hyper-analyzation where we stop the game and we're like, oh, the guard held. It's clearly a hold. You can't grab him by the shirt there.
Right.
And then we can do it over. If you want to keep going down this path of we're going to be 100% accurate, you're going to squeeze all the life out of the sport.
Just why does it take so long? I like it in college football. In college football, it seems like it
is really quick. Why is that? You're absolutely right.
I'll tell you why. Because we're sending it to make sure what Al Riveron thinks about things, because that union is so strong that we got to run everything by Al Riveron.
Is that what it is?
It's absurd. Why else could it's so quick and easy? College
doesn't seem to have this problem at all. College goes to replay on everything. And college keeps the games moving, and college seems to be less random than this.
And we'd be more frustrated about a stoppage in college football because those games are longer anyways, because the clock stops after first down.
But hold on. Are we just whining, or do most people feel like this?
Dan, I'm telling you, I've noticed it the last couple of weeks here where people are starting to go the other way on instant replay, on getting all this stuff right.
Where people, yes. So you're telling me that the thing I'm saying is happening throughout sports right now, or football, people who care about football, which is where I'm going, come on, man. We don't need to be studying whether the ball jostled at the 5th yard of his slide through the back of the end zone. It's not necessary. You're telling me most people are doing that right now.
I'm telling you, there are more people than ever doing that right now. I'm not saying most. I'm saying more people than I've ever seen. Listen, I have the same complaint as you, and I used to love it, and now I don't.
But do you realize how, if we're going to do it this randomly, where the Patriots get home field advantage over the call in the Steelers game, and the Patriots now have the easier path to the playoffs because the Titans just advanced. Titans stink. And if we're going to do the measurements on who's the best, if we have this much random bleep involved, it nullifies the who's the best element of this. Who's better, Titans or Chiefs? We all know the Chiefs are. All of us know that. but they played a game and random bleep happens, and at the end, the Titans happen to win, and who is better ceases to matter in any way. Like, the way we're doing the measurements is the best way we've always done them, but it's kind of stupid the way we're doing the measurements.
Yeah, but I don't want to go back to non-instant replay days where your season is lost because of a blown call and human error. I just want them to get it right.
I know, I get it.
I want to know what they're going to say.
But this is what I'm saying to you, Mike. Let's just say this. Do you believe in the hypothetical that I could go and watch film of the Saints-Carolina game and find a play where something was missed that would make Carolina the winner of that game, where I would just find one play where I would say, okay, here is something that I could get right by pointing out this was illegal. Do you think I could change the result of the game that way?
Yes. It was a one-score game.
But
yes,
how random
100%.
is all this bleep we're doing?
It's pretty random. I mean, the sport is random, Dan. It's complete.
It's as random as, look, the premise, man. A guy spots a ball where he thinks it landed.
On the other end of that, though, you have, I guess, was it Jeff Triplett, the referee in the Kansas City Chiefs game?
Yeah.
He was so bad in that game. There were so many bad calls. And so I guess maybe,
Yeah, the forward progress play.
there's still parts that you don't want. Dan, he retired after the game.
Here's what I would say. Here, he retired after the game.
He done.
The goal, I think we're arguing, right? The goal is let's get to 100% accuracy. That's the goal, right? In the ideal, but we all understand that is fundamentally impossible. So now we're just trying to get to 100% accuracy on touchdowns and fumbles, the really biggest of the plays, which is funny. Fumbles, interceptions. That we're doing it on only the biggest of the plays. We're trying to get it 100% accurate there. And here's the funniest part. And now the fans don't want that either. Because you don't. Because you can't want that. You can't want 10 minutes of sitting there watching a referee under a hood trying to decide whether or not something that you know is a catch was a catch or not.
Right.
Yeah, they don't bring out the hood anymore. They have a tablet there to try to save time. But it's so small that I feel like it's only adding to it.
It is adding time. Plus reception issues. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on there.
But Stugotz, here's what I'm telling you. And you rarely get these opportunities in real time to see an evolution that is happening so quickly that you get to experience it. And what I'm telling you is when you have grandkids, Stugotz, when Mike Ryan and Roy and Chris and Billy have grandkids, those grandkids, you're going to explain to them the way that football used to be measured. And they are going to think you are the world's largest ass clown. That the way we did it was old guys with chains measuring something very non-specifically, but then using all the world's billion-dollar technologies to measure something extraordinarily specifically. And the touchdowns, like we're going to look back at all of this place in time where the referees going to that hood or that tablet are the space and technological time where we go from the horse and buggy to the jet plane. And so the grandkids are going to be they're going to have such an accurate measurement of where the ball is. They're going to have measurements that show you how much brain damage was done on each play. And they're going to look back and you're going to say, wait a minute, championships were decided because one year New England, the tuck rule had the ball and it wasn't the ball and we analyzed the ball. And if we had had instant replay back then, the result would have been different, but we didn't have it back then. So we couldn't look at the tape. We got it wrong. Champions, Tom Brady forever. Hooray. And your grandkids are going to say, Grandpa, you're a loon. You're a loon. Like the things you are saying are stupid. You're an insane asylum person. There was $1 billion industry running where a bunch of guys were just making measurements with chains, except for the important plays when they went to Apple and all the world's technology and then did it excessively.
That's right.
We are in a stupid time. Never has $1 billion industry rested its results on something so flabbergastingly stupid.
My kids already asked me about it. Like, Rachel watches a lot of football, and she's asked me, like, Daddy, what are those guys doing? I'm like, they measure first
They're a
downs.
chain gang,
Yes.
honey. They're a chain gang in 2018.
Won't our great grandkids just act that way towards football in general? You were doing what as a sport?
Well, maybe, right. That's the other thing.
Right.
That's the other thing. The grandkids, football will have expired, dead. All the kids are loving basketball and soccer instead. Football no longer exists, and we will make movies about it like Gladiator. Like Russell Crowe will be Russell Crowe's grandkid will be the guy who played football. What the hell was he doing? He chose that?
Richard Sherman's speech is Maximus speaking to an entire arena.
Yeah, well, see, this is the thing.
Now, Kuechly's got to be the star, no?
Kuechly. Oh, who would be the best in Gladiator?
Who would be?
But here's what I want you to understand what's happening. Just if we're going to go ahead and go full-blown Gladiator on this, I want you to imagine that we're all celebrating in the Gladiator Coliseum and the Emperor is throwing it up, a thumb up, thumb down. And there's an epic royal war that involves a man at the very end, being eaten by a tiger. And everybody roars. Ah. But then we got to go to replay. And it appears that he's not dead. And what you thought was dead was not actually dead. The tiger loses. The guy is not dead. We got it all wrong. And that's how we measured who was the greatest of the gladiators. We'd be like, what were we doing?
The tiger actually had one toe out of bounds.
That's right. Right. It doesn't count. The tiger ate the gladiator, but he stepped out of bounds before he came in bounds and ate.
But he had one knee. One knee equals two paws.
The best part is, this is my favorite thing.
I got something better. I got another tiger that looked like it was running off the field and didn't get off the field in time. And they went to replay while the tiger was eating, and the 12th tiger was still running off the field, and they videotaped
Too many tigers on the field.
They're like, we can't do
Classic
this. The tigers can't win here. There was a 12th tiger on the field. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, yours was better. Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you are confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you the same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you are getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. That's rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states. NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
Another guy writes in, can you kiss LeVar Big Ballers bleep anymore? He's a loudmouth idiot living life through his son.
Don't dare us to kiss his bleep some more, because we will.
We'll wash his balls. I don't think I did that right.
No.
Stugotz.
Did you do that?
What I did there, if you really want to classify it, is identified as I made a mistake.
When did you know that you had made a mistake?
I would say right around where I got the looks of horror. I would say that's when I realized it. It felt wrong coming out of my mouth. Let me rephrase that.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
Can I gather the state of enthusiasm in the other room here for what it is that we're doing tonight? We haven't talked about it today, but it's been a pretty cool time for the show for a while now, because the show, it now has the full support of ESPN. We had to fight for it for a long time, because what we do around here is weird and it's often stupid. And we are on the other side of sort of ESPN saying, okay, go now, because we've had enormous success in terms of the way that you guys follow the show on the podcast, where ESPN is now empowering us on stuff and giving us the ability to do stuff. We're not this niche thing off to the side anymore. They're funding us.
Yeah, now we're the biggest show in the world.
That's right.
Yep.
And so tonight we've got a mega cast, because it's not merely a cast. It's not a super cast. It's not a common cast. It's not a football cast. It's mega. You understand? The things that are mega can't be small, right? Things that are mega are never small. So even though you might think to yourself, well, ESPNU is small, and you'd be totally right. This is a mega cast. Mega. Tonight.
Yeah.
This show becomes mega tonight on ESPNU.
For anywhere between 25 to 45 minutes.
Yes.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Is ESPNU Periscope? So we're mega tonight. We're mega, just so that you understand. It's not a normal cast.
It's a mega cast.
It's not merely broad. It's not merely a broadcast. You think to yourself, this cast is broad. That's good. No.
Nope.
This is mega.
Yep.
So tonight, we are going to be televised for 3.5 straight hours with no commercials.
It's very cool. I mean, they're entrusting us, whether they're right or wrong, doesn't matter, but they are entrusting us. There is a national championship game being played tonight, and we are part of their broadcast.
That's right. We are part of the coverage. The worldwide leader in sports has so many tentacles that we tonight will be the testicles on their mega broadcast. We are the balls of the broadcast. I want you to imagine on this broadcast, as they bring in all the big bodies to be the core and the structure of the thing, hanging from the back, hairy, sagging, and wrinkled, is our show. Uselessly hanging in a way that is mega. So, are you guys excited about it? Is the crew excited about it? They've got ideas. There are things, I don't want to spoil any of the ideas, but I've been delighted in hearing some of the ideas.
Well, I think we should spoil one of them during the national show as a means to drive people to our megacast. Because
is it the halftime show?
It's a halftime show.
No, I don't think we should tell them what the halftime show.
Booked.
We are counter-programming against Kendrick Lamar. That's all you need to know.
We have an amazing halftime show.
We are performing. We have our own halftime show. I've seen some of the choreography.
Wow.
Yeah, like we will have our own. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. This is a mega cast. This is Miami being brought to the world with our unique skill sets and talents. And we are going to be the big hairy balls of this entire production tonight.
I thought it was me breaking down the first half.
You analyzing the first half?
We've gone away from that plan?
There'll be plenty of time for you to squeeze in your pukey analysis as we're doing this 3.5 hours
Right.
straight.
There'll be plenty of time for pukey analysis.
No breaks.
I can't wait, though, for the person who's looking for their serious mega bonus coverage cast. They just got done with Larry Fedora breaking something down, and I'm going to Stugotz. Can we name 3 of the players on this field? 3 of them. You got the big guy Scarborough.
Yep.
I've been having trouble with Alabama's quarterback's name all season.
Jalen Hurts. You got him.
Go ahead. Keep going.
I'm out.
Name some Georgia players. Chubb. They've got one of the famous Chubbs.
They got a Fromm.
They got one of the famous college football Chubbs.
You're save
some of the good stuff.
Save some of this.
Well, I'm out of material. That's it.
I got a Sony guy.
You got
Sony. You keep calling him Sony.
I think it's Sony. I think you're wrong on that.
No, it's not
Michelle,
Sony.
You called him Mitchell, too.
I think it's Sony. Mike, you better look this up. I think it's Sony. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm looking out for you. I want you to have it right when you say his name tonight. I believe it's Sony. Sony.
I've heard his name on the broadcast. Nobody called him Sony.
I heard the same, man. They were calling him Sony. I'm telling you. Gary Danielson, I believe.
Are we committed to this whole game? Like, if it's a blowout, we need to stick around for the whole thing? Because, like, normally I'll fall asleep.
Well, where can people get this, Mike? Is it only on ESPNU and Periscope? Like, this megacast, everywhere. They can get it everywhere in the world because we're the biggest sports radio show in the world?
Here's the deal. Our megacast begins at 8 o'clock. We may kick off the entire coverage because there's certain parts that there's a cool room in New York. I'm not sure what that means.
A cool room?
Yes.
They're going to be late.
I have insisted on starting at 8, where most of these megacasts are starting at, after kickoff because they can't carry a broadcast. We're going to be here at 8 o'clock. ESPNU, if you want to enjoy the entire megacast experience, it's us. Like I said, there's a cool room in New York and NFL Live and
hold
Jump.
on, Mike, help me understand something here. So we're going to be doing a 3.5 hour commercial-free show tonight.
Yes. Yes.
Is that going to be available, all of it going to be available to our listeners somewhere?
That will absolutely be available. So basically, we're doing a show for 3.5 hours, essentially just for the people that follow us on Batard Reddit. They're the diehards that are going to watch this whole thing. That'll be available on ESPN3. I'll link that stuff out as we get going.
Well, but I think that's who we're doing it for.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah. We're not doing this for notoriety or get extra eyes to us. Hopefully the halftime show does get some social media traction and people will want to tune in and
the halftime show.
Yeah. Which there's only a few hours here for a sponsor to get on board.
Is
Imagine
our halftime show locked down? I heard some of the negotiations. I saw some of the choreography. Is our halftime show locked it down? Is our chief performer going to be there?
Yes. In fact, two of our performers are confirmed.
2 performers. How many performers does the halftime show have?
2. For now.
Yeah. For now, but things can change over the course of the day. Things can be added. Look at the enthusiasm on Roy's face. It's sweeping over Roy's face.
I haven't answered your question about how excited they are.
No one's answered it. Yeah.
I'm ecstatic about it. You're what? I couldn't be more excited. We're hoping for a lot of run plays, though, because these games can drag.
Yeah.
Like, we want this clock to keep moving, get us out of here by like 11.
But we're going to be
11:30.
doing a different kind of show tonight on the MegaCast, right? You could, like, we're not going to do the show the way we always do it, are we? Like, it's going to be you guys. I feel like this should be is you guys performing for me and Stugotz.
Well,
yeah,
it's going to be a
That's
different.
easy.
It's going to be a different show in that there's going to be audio. We got a wheel of content relief.
What is that?
Wow, a wheel of content relief.
Yeah, because
Nice.
you guys have quite the burden of content.
How's that going to work, Guillermo? How's that wheel you were just spinning going to
So
work?
you grab it and you spin it.
Well, let's try it. Can we try? Let's try it one time.
Get a little test run, yeah.
What is it going to land on? All right, let's see here. And it landed on. Is that a bent over cartoon?
Our stuff isn't on there yet. There's a whole
That's the morning show's punishment.
But we wanted to get you familiar with how a wheel works.
Yeah.
But what would the content have been like? Give me an example of what that would have been landing on.
Oh, I mean, we have so many things, Dan. We have games that we can play. We have all kinds of stuff, mainly games.
It seems like they're still figuring it out.
It seems like there's not much of a plan. The plan is really in its generic stages.
Just games.
Yeah,
It feels like Derek Jeter's original plan, the way the commissioner would have you believe it, which is Jeter just came in and says, I've got a plan. Just give me the tea.
It's just games.
Well, yeah, and the person that has all the games is like 600 miles away with some sort of back flu, so we need to get new games.
Oh, that's actually there. Well, here's what happened last
Back
week.
flu, that's weird.
No,
Yeah,
Allison
it's
is
a bizarre
beat
back
up.
flu.
I just talked to her.
Convenient day to be sick.
Yeah, she's got all the games. She's got our entire halftime show. She's not confirmed. We've got 2 confirmed performers, but the one with the games hasn't gotten here. She has all the games at home and has been bedriddled by some sort of spine flu.
Bedridden. Fine.
She's been bedriddled also.
That's fine.
She's been riddled. It's not a fine.
It's $1. No one in the history of the world has ever said bed riddled.
She's been riddled by beds in the last few days. I'm climbing through a loophole. You're right. I should have said bedridden.
I'll let you off today.
Thank you.
Got a long day ahead of us.
We really
Plenty
do.
of mistakes.
Has anyone considered that? Has anyone
Wait a
considered that
second.
there are not a lot of 7-hour-a-day radio shows?
Wait a second. Will the fine system still be in place during
Of course.
this? Okay, good. All right.
Oh, no.
Wait, I
Tough
get
night for
fined
you.
anytime I make the rules on
Gotta
the
go
fly.
to the bank, man.
Has anyone considered that it is not normal to be doing a Jerry Lewis telethon of college football today, and that we're probably going to be really tired by 1 o'clock tomorrow?
By tomorrow's show is going to be a disaster. But
well, Cody will be here to save us.
yeah, I will tell you what I'm excited for.
Hold on. I heard Cody was mad. That
He's very mad
he wasn't invited to be a part of the
I've seen him.
MegaCast.
He's sort of like got this pseudo campaign going to try to guilt us into inviting him. He's on one hand he's happy that he's not taking part of it, and on the other hand that's a total lie. The first hand he wants to be a part of this because it's just more Greg
No,
Cody.
but that, you know what? I've been dealing with this conundrum, and it's why I tell you that Greg Cody is one of the most conflicted individuals and strangest people I've ever seen. For many years, now he celebrates and gives high praise all over the universe to the late departed mentor, Edwin Pope. But during Edwin Pope's living days, Greg Cody would scream and yell to me about being put inside, his newspaper columns put inside, because the legendary Edwin Pope was on the front page. So Greg Cody would be insane with fury that Edwin Pope was running on the front page and his columns were running on 9D. And then when I would say to him, yeah, Greg, but Edwin went to the Kentucky Derby. He got up and took a flight and went to the Kentucky Derby so he could be covering an actual event. Your column was written in your underwear, the 50th straight column you've written about Don Shula. He was actually going to do something. And if I assigned you the column of going to the Kentucky Derby, you would have then started complaining because you didn't want to do that. And he would just go, that's right. That's him.
Yeah.
That's Greg Cody. So he wants to be invited. And if we do invite him, he won't want to come. And if we don't invite him, he'll get insulted because we didn't invite him.
Sure.
That is my entire life with that person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any other person other than the person who does that.
we have an important Sony Sonny Michelle update.
Oh, go
Here's
ahead.
Michelle.
Sony Michelle.
Thank you.
Stugotz was right.
Wow.
Holy, Stugotz was right.
Wow.
Thank you.
You came prepared for this, Megan.
That is
Yes,
what
I did.
that is. See, that's the analysis you're going to get here that you're not going to get anywhere else. The correct pronunciation of the one guy on Georgia any of us can name.
Help protect what matters with the ADT Safer, Smarter New Year's sales event. For a limited time, get an ADT Security Starter Kit. Everything you need to get started with ADT Pulse, including a security panel, keypad, a motion sensor, and 2 entry sensors. Plus, there's an indoor camera and key fob all professionally installed for only $49. It's a $599 savings that comes with the warm, confident feeling of safety at home. Requires 36-month monitoring contract, QSP, and Easy Pay. Activation and early termination fees may apply. Certain markets excluded. Licenses available at ADT.com. Florida EF0001121. Louisiana F1639. Visit ADT.com/podcast. Hurry. This special offer now ends 1/21.
Don Le Batard.
He and I hugged vigorously upon seeing each other because it's been a long time since we saw each other. Well, I've had too much to drink at this point, but I'm also just fingering. What the hell word was I trying to say there? Lingering is the word I was looking for. My lingering hug with.
That is an awkward hug.
Yeah. Well, and now the story gets good.
Stugotz.
Now I'm explaining to them in his company by holding up next to his face my phone with a magazine article I wrote about him next to his face. And it's got a happy ending. Well, that's not the phrase I should use either.
Geez, God, man.
Jeez. The story has a
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
Guillermo, put this on the poll, please. Is it absurd to think that our next president is going to be Oprah Winfrey?
Nope.
Because I felt like that's what I was watching last night with that Golden Globe speech, where she is a representative for the new America that is women who are tired of being silenced by powerful men, and a black woman and a strong black woman fighting on behalf of her causes. She seems to have been training for this all of her life, not just by having the story that's crazy of how it is that she arrived at her empire, but then when she got her empire, creating a channel that was spiritual in nature, combined with, meant to reach everybody, talking to CEOs about spirituality, combined with an acting career that has been extraordinary.
Yeah.
She is ready to do this in this particular time in America. I don't know. Has she even said whether she's thinking about it or not?
Not that I'm aware of, but it was interesting to see her because she was front and center. She was being honored last night, and it was interesting to see some of the world's biggest stars be nervous just because they had to deliver a speech in front of Oprah. But it was interesting. When she delivered her speech, my wife turned to me and she goes, wow. This is the best I've ever heard Oprah talk. Like, because there's
so
passion.
confident.
And I said,
confident.
I said to my wife, this feels presidential.
So confident. Yeah. She is, I'm telling you, the things that have happened in her life have gotten her. I don't have any earthly idea whether it's something that she's interested or not in. But let me explain to you what this woman means to people. We have been talking about Jamie Foxx for a long time. There was a time that Jamie Foxx had entertainment by the phone. He was doing music with Kanye West at the height of music. He was doing these complicated movies. He was doing fame in a way that got him all the magazine covers, and he was living the orgy lifestyle. He was living like a rock star, just plowing through women. And he got in front of Oprah Winfrey and felt deep and profound shame about how he was wasting the power. And she straightened out Jamie Foxx at the height of entertainment. Jamie Foxx had gotten carried away with ego, and he went to her knee, and she was maternal, paternal, pissed off at that he was wasting this power, just using it to party.
Yeah.
That's Jamie Foxx. Like, this woman can move people. This woman, people will rally around this woman. You will have objections, but you've seen what her past is. She's been open about her vulnerabilities. She herself is the most powerful woman that you will find anywhere in business. And she is tired of women being suppressed and repressed. And the voice that she found last night was so bleeping strong in front of people, talking about something that she cared about, that you couldn't help but be moved by it, and you couldn't help but want to follow it.
Yeah. It's the exact feelings that that I had. I do wonder if someone who's accomplished so much, if that's something she would want to take on.
Well, but
that responsibility.
That would be. Let me hear. What is she saying about this? I'm sure she's about to be asked about it.
Stedman, her longtime partner, was asked about it and said she'd absolutely run. It's up to the people, but she'd absolutely do it.
Like, doesn't it make sense?
Yeah, it makes all the sense in the world.
A TV
and
star.
It doesn't really, because
no, right, no. But once Trump's opened this door, it would have been
our
ridiculous.
country's obsession with
2
celebrity.
years ago would have been stupid.
So we're gonna do celebrity president again.
Of course. What America, of course, is going to do celebrity president. Of course, the Kardashians are our royal family. But if we're going to do a celebrity president, this is a damn good choice.
Who wins, her or Rock?
That's a great choice. I'd love that ticket. I'd vote for that ticket. Oprah as president, Rock as vice president. I would vote for that ticket. Guillermo, put it on the poll. Would you vote? Could anything topple the ticket for you of Oprah Winfrey and The Rock combining forces so that we are just a full-fledged idiocracy?
It's pretty powerful right there, man.
It's really just people we like. But you like Rock's Rock's, we're going to have a real problem on our hands when Rock wants to be the president, because he doesn't think that Oprah should be the president. He thinks he should be the president. But Rock might respect her enough that he might be okay with her putting down his toxic masculinity and being her vice president.
The look on his face sort of suggested that he's fine sitting this one out if Oprah wants to do it. He's not catching that L.
Yeah. We'll take the next one.
Actually, The Rock would be like Trump, parlaying the vice presidential role into a whole lot of business appearances and films. Starring vice presidential action star Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Are we just going to do this election via Instagram likes now? Is that where this is headed?
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Is the only thing getting in the way of The Rock being the vice president that he'd have to give up his Ballers gig, according to the Constitution? Like, this is where we are, right? This is what I am saying is not absurd. I know it seems absurd, but it's not absurd. What Oprah Winfrey did at the Golden Globes yesterday was presidential.
Who said that Ballers was out? Was that John Adams when they were putting together the Constitution? Henceforth, no one shall be able to star in Ballers.
Can we talk a little more about this gladiator example we were talking about earlier, where the way that we're doing football analysis is about the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life? Stugotz was during the break. Mike, tell me that the greatest... Mike,
this is the greatest.
Tell me this isn't the greatest juxtaposition in football. We are sitting there micro-analyzing whether or not that Pittsburgh Steelers tight end was it Jesse James? The Pittsburgh Steeler tight end. All of us thought it was a catch. It was ruled not a catch because the ball slightly jostled, and that's the difference in home field position in the AFC. Stugotz and I were giggling with laughter because maybe at another point in that game, a punt sailed out of bounds. And some referee just randomly ran up the sidelines and placed the ball wherever it is he thought it went out of bounds in the sky. He might have been off by 15 yards. He might have not been looking. He might have been thinking about something that he forgot to do at home.
Right, because he wasn't standing directly under the ball when it went out of bounds. He was standing 40 yards away and had to run to a spot where he thought it went out.
That's right.
I love watching him run from the goal line to a point where he thinks the ball went out. I mean, to me, it is one of the funniest things to watch in sports.
It is the stupidest thing. Guillermo put this on the poll. Is the stupidest thing in the history of sports that referee flying down the sidelines, placing a punt where he thinks the ball went out of bounds. Some guy flying down. He looks like the police officer in Die Hard. He comes flying down the sideline, and he's like, I know where it is. I've got this expert ability to be able to tell exactly at what height a ball goes out of bounds. I've been training for years. I know that it was the 42, not the 35.
The police officer with the bad skin in Die Hard? Man, that dude's face. It stays with you.
Yeah, it does. I know exactly who you're talking about. What's his name?
Just like Saigon?
You guys
just like Saigon.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Are you talking about Al?
I was talking about the black guy.
Oh, okay.
I was talking about the donut-eating black guy. You guys are talking about an FBI agent. He is... All those guys had the same name. They were Special Agent Brown, weren't they?
Special Agent Brown and Johnson?
No, it's Bo Johnson.
They were both Johnson?
Big Johnson, Little Johnson.
Yeah, Big Johnson, Little Johnson.
Special Agent Johnson, Special Agent Johnson. No, the guy who looks like they put out a fire with a screwdriver on his face is not the guy I'm talking about. And he wasn't a police officer. That guy was an FBI agent.
Who spent time in Nam.
That's right. And so when they went in the helicopter and they had everything sorted out, that's not the police officer I was talking about. Why would you think that guy is a referee?
I don't know, because that dude's face has just stayed with me.
But that's a good show. Would you guys like to do the show? Who in acting's face looks most like a referee? That's a good show. I want to do that show.
You're all in with Robert Davi? Because that's his name, Mike.
No. He does not have a referee's face.
Who in acting has a face that you would say, I would buy that guy as the story, the hero in a refereeing story? And at the big climax, Stugotz, because it's just as every bit as stupid as it is in football, the big climax will be him totally correctly marking a punt as it sails out of bounds at the exact point and marking it perfectly at the 41.5-yard line.
Carl Winslow, the cop that you're talking about from Die Hard, absolutely looks like a referee. He's most famous for his role in Family Matters. I'd say Paul Gleason, the principal from The Breakfast Club, also looks like an official.
Yes, that's
pretty
a good one.
Rest
that's
in peace.
A good one.
Yeah.
Yes, rest in peace. He's no longer with us.
Mike, wasn't it Al Powell? I'm getting confused with cops here. I thought it was...
Al Powell is the character, not the actor.
Oh, okay.
Al is it's. You thought.
Paul Gleason was also in Die Hard. You see how that works?
Yeah, Paul Gleason was in Die Hard. You're right.
Oh, he was. That's right. He was Al's jerk boss.
Yes, he was the police chief.
That guy one time, I'm not kidding you. That guy, where was I? That guy came up to me one time and said he was a fan of my work.
Paul Gleason? What?
Yes, the principal in Breakfast Club. I was at a draft of some sort. He's a big sports fan.
Well, was.
Well, yes. I didn't know he was no longer with us. Allison, send him something.
You've been sitting on this Paul Gleason tidbit?
I thought I told you guys that story before. It was at a draft of some sort. I think it was a football draft. He came up to me, and all I knew him as is, you mess with the bull, you get the horns. I couldn't place who he was when he came over and is like, yeah. Oh, I got a great story for you guys. This happened with Mike the other day.
He died in 2006, by the way.
R.I.P.
Still want to send him something?
Yes. Stugotz, I got a good one for you. Send it to his gravesite, Allison.
I've been laughing about this story that you're about to tell for a couple of days.
Mike, you didn't see it clearly. You're going to love this, Stugotz, okay?
All right.
My mother is a giant Heat fan, and it gives me great joy to see, the people with the Heat treat her so well. Just ushers, parking attendants, media relations people, they treat my mother with such care. It really is a joy to see. And so my mother loves being around all Miami Heat related things. And so she wanted to go to a season ticket event the other day.
Right.
And it's about the last place in the world that I want to actually be. But my mother is so happy at these things. So I'm like, all right, let me go. And it's not for any other reason. I just don't want to sit there and talk to a bunch of people that I don't know about, the state of the Heat. And I'm a jerk.
Right.
So
could have just cut right to it.
Right. I'm socially awkward, and I'm a jackass. And other people having fun is something I'm not comfortable with, so I have to scurry away. So I go with my mother. Well, but you'll see right now, Stugotz, why I don't love these events. This story is going to explain to you, this story that I'm going to tell you now is going to explain to you why these events can be slightly unpleasant for me.
I'm just trying to get through the visual of you scurrying away from people having fun.
That's right. There was a cocktail party. It was Jason Jackson was falling in love with his own voice, as he always is. He was just yammering in the microphone, talking about libations and a whole lot of other polysyllabic words because he knows words with a lot of syllables. And he was just yammering. And my mother was happy because Udonis Haslem was there. My mother loves Udonis Haslem. And this guy comes up to me, and he's like, man, I'm a big fan of your work. Mike's right next to me. And I'm like, thank you. That's very nice of you. He's like, those 2 years when you weren't here. And I'm like, yeah, I took a sabbatical for a while. I took a year off, but I wasn't really off work. He's like, no, those 2 years that you weren't announcing the Heat games, where you weren't saying dos minutos and you weren't, announcing the games, those were not the fun years of the Miami Heat. they really missed you. And I'm like, yeah, I had a terrible laryngitis problem. And I started just selling it. I'm like, yeah, because I realized he thought that I was Mike Biamonte, the Miami Heat's courtside announcer. And so I just keep talking to him. He still thinks I am because I talk to him like, oh, yeah, those 18 months were hard. I lost my voice. I miss doing it. Dos minutos. I miss doing it.
You were giving him 8 steps.
2 minutes. That 18 months was hard. And he left and he went away.
Forever thinking he
still thinks he met Mike. Oh, what a lovely man Mike Biamonte is. We spent so much time together. He agrees with me.
You were with him for about 5 minutes.
Sports-sized announcing went to hell, straight to hell, when Biamonte was out for a year and a half.
You were speaking to this guy for about 5 minutes.
That's right. I was in full character. I felt like Daniel Day-Lewis.
It's easier when they think it's someone else.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. I just told these elaborate tapestries of lies.
Right.
I mean, you could just keep going, right? I could ruin Biamonte in this guy's eyes for years. I could just say, oh, you should have seen. I had that 6-month problem. I just ran through heroin, meth, and prostitutes. No, that was a good 6 months, but I missed the announcing. Yeah.
Deliver the line.
Oh, I thought you did that on air.
No.
Oh, yes. No.
Yes.
Do that.
Yes.
I was laughing. Go ahead. Do it on air.
That's a fun.
Do it on air.
Too many drugs.
I thought you did that on air. How was I supposed to know you were whispering that in my ear?
I was feeding you so you could be funny back to the shadows.
Oh, that would have been a good one. Wait a minute. I can never hear you. You never feed me anything. I thought you said that on air.
I was at the shadowy mic.
Too many drugs. I thought you said that on air.
Would have been funny about 3 minutes ago. Close, though.
How do I know the difference between when you're talking in my ear and when you're talking on air?
I'd lean into the shadowy mic, and I go like this and whisper.
I hear it all the same.
Yeah. There is a lean, though. There's a lean. Just look out for the lean.
I'm just discovering that now.
The lean?
I thought everything Mike said was on air.
It's not. I have the shadowy mic.
I know, but you use that only for Stugotz. You don't use that very much for me.
No, I rarely use it for you.
That's why I'm confused by it.
And I never use it for Stugotz. Back to the shadows.
Exactly. Talking about.
How often?
Surprised you use it at all, man. You shouldn't need him.
Too many drugs would have been a great line for me to utter.
Would have been great. Yeah.
I really blew it.
Yeah.
So that's what this megacast is going to feel like tonight. Just
too many drugs.
Us, yes. Yes.
I'm looking forward to hanging with my friends.
Mike, let me ask you this question, though. Wouldn't this be the great broadcast to see Stugotz slowly deteriorate into drunkenness? Wouldn't bringing him drinks?
It's a Monday, man.
But bringing him drinks during the broadcast and having him get slightly drunker and drunker, wouldn't this be the time to do it?
You shouldn't say that on air and let the world know our intentions.
All right, but can we do that? Do you think we can do that?
Now we got to do it with peanut M&Ms instead.
Don't you think we can do it quietly in a cup that looks like a coffee cup or something, where slowly, just for the listeners of this show, they see that Stugotz is slowly deteriorating? But what are they going to do? Alcohol test him after the show? Seriously. What are they going to do? They're going to give him a breathalyzer after the show? It's still Stugotz. I think we should see what this ends up looking like. Stugotz having drinks over the course of 3 hours, deteriorating. We need to test the limits on some of this stuff. If they're going to give us the platform to do this show, let's test the limits.
I'd like to have the platform again, though, at some point. I mean,
what's universally accepted as okay? What if he's just sipping a glass of white wine? Is that designated as okay?
Well, I don't think we should ask, though. I think we should, whatever we decide, ask forgiveness, not permission. We'll figure out after the fact whether a glass of white wine with your broadcast is okay. When Stugotz is slurring in the third hour of the show. What, Guillermo? What?
Hoda and Kathy Lee drink wine, don't they?
Yeah. And they do it in the morning, those lushes.
Yeah. On network television.
Yeah, network TV.
We should be able to do that.
Not on ESPN3
Well, but wait a minute.
Subredditors.
We're good. All right. We're good. No, we're totally good.
Hoda rule.
Who's bringing the meth?
I'm a robot vacuum cleaner, so yeah, I got one gig. I suck up dirt, so pardon my inferiority complex about Geico, who does so much more. Not only could they save their customers money on car insurance, but they got fast and friendly claim service too, and an award-winning mobile app. Plus access to licensed agents 24/7. Who am I kidding? I can't even do corners. Uh-oh. Choking hazard.
Popcorn kernels.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.